Welcome everyone to the middle of Tribeca here in New York City. We're going to explore one of the most famous brunch places in the entire city. It's been known for 30 years at this point for selling some of the best pancakes, pies, and other amazing goodies here in the beautiful neighborhood of Tribeca. This, of course, is Bubbies. We're going to chat with the restaurateur, the chef and the owner, Ron Silver, and then we're going to try a few of their meals. I'm so excited. And look here, we see in the front, right here, look at all of this. Oh, looks gorgeous. Some donuts and beautiful outdoor seating and everything. So welcome everyone, I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and we're going to have some pancakes today. Since I am conversing with the chef, I might not be able to answer comments, but stay tuned, enjoy, because there will be a food chat segment right after we chat with the chef and the owner. Without further ado, let's go and meet the owner of Bubbies here in Tribeca, which is on the corner of North Moore Street and Hudson Street. So I'll show you right over here. So beautiful seating. All right.
I love this music. Yeah. You need something?
No, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No,
Alright.
this is embarrassing.
So there we go. Here we have their outdoor seating arrangement.
And I talked to him like 50,000 times.
And look at that. And beautiful scenery. There's a great heating as well, which I'm excited. Good morning, everyone. Let me know where you're watching from. Nice to see you here.
Sorry.
And here we have Chef Ron Silver. How's it going, Chef?
Good, how are you?
Doing very well. I'm actually really excited to eat here. I ate here like once before, many years ago. I was blown away by your pancakes.
Oh, thanks.
And constantly I have friends, because I'm a New Yorker myself, constantly have friends recommending this place.
Oh, cool.
So I'm excited to chat with you. Let's sit down.
Let's do that.
And clip this microphone on your sweater. So, I'm so curious about how it got started, because this got started in 1990, and it was a neighborhood where it wasn't that popular yet. No, Tribeca. So, what's the origin story of Bubbies?
Well, essentially, I was 27 when I started Bubbies.
Yeah.
And, this neighborhood, Tribeca, really wasn't really anything but sort of off the beaten path in a way. And, I had an opportunity to sort of borrow this kitchen to bake pies, because I had started a pie company.
Yeah.
And then sort of through just basically squatting, I ended up keeping the place and getting a lease, and sort of, I really didn't have a lease for the first 3 months that Bubbies was operating.
Which many artists were doing with their own studios. It's funny that you did it with the restaurant.
Right, and I also am an artist, so the reason that I started Bubbies is
Yeah.
because I'm an artist, and I didn't want really, I wanted to paint.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting, because I've listened to a bunch of interviews of yours, and you always mention that you're in charge of creativity for Bubbies.
Yes.
So how does being an artist influence you being a chef in the restaurant?
Well, in a lot of ways. I mean, one is that both are arts,
Yeah.
food and making art, paintings, and they both have a certain amount of sort of technical skills.
Right.
So, once you learn the technical skills of any sort of art, then creativity comes into place. comes into play. And I guess what I would say is that for food, while I am somewhat creative and sort of chefy in that way, my main focus has always been to preserve old recipes and to learn about old cooking and sort of the family table. So my creativity at Bubbies has been really about sort of understanding the American table and who brought what to it, which is just ethnic group after ethnic group, starting with Africans bringing African food. So, and those guys showed up not of their own free will, but they did bring their food and cooked it, and African American food is at the core of American food. So a lot of it is sort of learning about that and then going and finding grandmas that are real good at it and sort of trying to steal recipes from them.
Okay, I have two great questions with that because we have people watching from all around the world, and when you see like pancakes and waffles and other things like that, avocado toast, it's like Americana for a lot of people. How did African American and other ethnicities here in New York influence Bubbies?
Not just in New York, but in America. I mean, so the African foodways, a lot of things that we just take for granted for American food, like fried chicken, watermelon, greens, sesame seeds, yams, all kind of things that come from African, Western African food cultures.
Yeah.
Cooking meat with greens and just all kinds of stuff ends up being the sort of foundation of American food, and you can see how that would happen. That's who was cooking the food in America.
Oh, fascinating. Also, your combination of pancakes with fried chicken, which is like an homage to, I assume, fried chicken and waffles.
I'm going to call it's actually fried chicken. It's not an homage at all.
Okay.
It's a fucking thing.
Oh, all right. I love it. Awesome.
Oh, I was told not to swear in this interview.
No. It's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
It's okay.
People. So pancakes is a different thing. Pancakes is a sort of European, English, thing, and there are like Shrove Tuesday is about pancakes. So that's a pancake holiday. And so there are lots of cultures who have their influence on American food. English, European stuff to every ethnic group that rolls over here, like Jews, Italians, Chinese, Vietnamese.
Oh, I see.
And all of the, ethnic foods that come to America and sort of start off as something that's a little bit exotic or weird, and then ends up really being on the American table.
Yeah, that's the mind-blowing thing about American cuisine, such as the burritos or pizza that is now becoming kind of just commonplace in America.
Yeah.
Fascinating. And you opened up a store in a few places in Japan.
Yeah.
And I listened to another interview where you mentioned how tough it was to kind of get fresh ingredients in that area of the world that you might use here.
Well, they have a lot of different ingredients there, and trying to help my partners in Japan understand what local agriculture was or is in Japan. It's a very different mentality, because in America we have tons of land, 3,000 miles coast to coast.
We sometimes take it for granted as eaters.
Well, but I don't take it for granted, and it really is the breadbasket of the world. And so Japan doesn't necessarily have the breadbasket that we do. So agriculture there is more specialized, and they don't think of it in the same way, but they do grow plenty of cool things, and it's been really rewarding to help my partners in Japan understand what they grow in Japan and why it's cool. And they have a lot of cool stuff there that it's completely interesting, like the ume plums and all kinds of stuff like that.
Fascinating. And has that taught you anything learning in Japan to back here? Have you brought any of those learnings back to Tribeca?
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
One thing that has influenced me. The Japanese influence on my art has been deep.
Yeah.
And understanding Japanese culture has been interesting because at first it's confusing, and then you can see that there's a path to understanding that. And the food in Japan is also goes way back, and it's very interesting. So I have understood a lot from my interactions with Japan.
Yeah.
You know, one of them being that, you know, our food culture goes back 300 years and is constantly evolving, and Japanese food culture goes back thousands of years and doesn't evolve.
Right. Yeah, it's such a deep food culture. And speaking of food culture, there's the saying, it's as American as apple pie. And you mentioned in a few interviews where you did not find good pie here in New York City. I feel your pain because when I was younger, I've always loved pie, and there was very few places where I could find pie growing up in the 1990s. I did not yet know of your place. What was that process like of trying to make a great pie?
Well, the first thing was that I had an idea of pie in my mind, but I had never ever had pie that was edible. The only pie I'd ever had was like frozen grocery store pie.
And that's the case in most of America.
So, you know, there was a time in America where there was a pie shop on every corner, and part of the evolution of America is pie, because American agriculture is so massive that there's just so much stuff to do that had to be done. People didn't waste food in 1790 or 1690. People did not waste food back then. And so pie, jam, cobblers, all these things were just a way to incorporate all of this produce into, you know, the table and eat it.
Oh, fascinating. It was a great way to preserve it, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you come across trying to find the best recipe for a pie? Because you inspired a lot of great pie makers here in New York City after yourself.
Glad to hear that.
It made me as a pie lover extremely happy, so thank you.
I mean, what I would say is that there was no real path.
Yeah.
And I did have a little book called The Little Pie Book, which kind of helped me on my way a bit. This woman, Lisa Yokelson, wrote that, and you know, it's a sweet book, but the real deep dive on pie is not in a book. It's in Iowa in some grandma's kitchen.
Right.
So, and it really is a question of sort of digging in, understanding pastry, understanding flour, understanding lard and butter, and a whole bunch of stuff. It took me a long, long time from the time I really learned to make pie at Bubbies. So it's not like I was an expert pie maker beforehand. I literally had learned to make pie maybe 3 months before I opened Bubbies. And it took me another 10 years to really understand how to do it well. And now I really feel like we have exemplary pie, the platonic ideal of pie in a way.
That's amazing. And to the point where you sell it nationwide.
We do.
Yeah. You sell it nationwide, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. And that said, like, what brought you to New York City originally?
Well, I was a sous chef in Atlanta at a hotel, and somebody after some meal that I had cooked asked me if I would come to New York and prepare a meal at the Guggenheim for this.
That's a pretty big deal. Whoa, okay.
Party happening.
Right. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so excited. I'll show you guys the food that has arrived. I'll be eating it very, very soon. There we go. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sourdough Pancake?
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll be eating that soon, but let's wrap up. So how did you come here to Tribeca originally?
Well, like I said,
a sous chef at Guggenheim.
Well, I was asked to come to New York to prepare this meal at the Guggenheim, and I ended up being the executive chef for that catering company.
Yeah.
And so I moved up here permanently to do that, and then, I mean, it quickly also I had this sort of terminal illness of being unemployable.
It afflicts many New Yorkers.
Yeah. So I had to figure out how to employ myself.
Right.
And I really do enjoy cooking for people, so this is the best possible direction for me to go. It's the most fun that I could possibly have.
That's amazing. I'm glad you opened up this place and still running it and still growing. That's amazing. Bringing great American comfort food to people, not just us New Yorkers, but people all around the world, tourists that sometimes want to experience what American food is like. Could we see very quickly the interior of the restaurant, and then I'm coming back here to eat everything?
Sure.
All right, awesome. Let's take a nice quick tour of inside the restaurant. And I'll be back for the food. I'll be back. So this is still the original location from Tribeca.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. Here it is. I love the very homey, cozy vibes with all the woodwork and everything. Yeah, that's amazing. And do you have your own paintings hung up?
Yeah, all of this artwork is mine.
Oh, amazing. I see some Japanese influences.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. And do people have written their own names here?
Yeah, so we just we did a renovation last year, and so we rebuilt the entire restaurant, but we left these walls untouched because people have been writing on them for 30 years.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow. And you said your original customers were like Blondie, and you mentioned a few big names.
My first customer was Isabella Rossellini, and the second customer was Blondie, and the third customer was Cyndi Lauper.
Oh my God.
So it's always been sort of filled with celebrities, but I never really gave a shit about that, and I still don't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel a little bit bad for celebrities.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have a place where all people can just come and feel like they're in a place that they want to be.
Of course, yeah, that's right. Like, the reason I came here was because I went here on a date, and the girl was saying, "Oh, hey, I've seen like Robert De Niro here, but no one says anything to celebrities. Like, this is the place to see celebrities." I found that very amusing.
Well, yes, and I don't try to get press on that.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. The reason probably that people feel comfortable here is because I'm not trying to sort of use them to capitalize on them. I don't understand that thinking.
Right. And then let me see the spread over here. You have bread. And you're starting to make bread now. Sourdough.
We have sourdough bread. That really did come out of the pandemic.
Wow.
That I was, I basically, everybody really seemed to drift towards sourdough during the pandemic, but I was sort of faced with, our sourdough is like 130 years old, and I sort of, understood that if I didn't take care of it, it was going to die. And so I came in, and while the whole city was shut down, and brought a jar home, and I was feeding it every day. I'd never made bread in my life.
Oh, wow.
And so I decided that I would take the opportunity to learn, while I was feeding the sourdough, to learn how to make bread. And I really went off the deep end, and I sort of decided that the only way I could really survive is to have a job.
Yeah.
And so I made it my job to make a loaf of bread every day and give it to someone, which was not easy when the whole city was shut down. It was a real challenge.
Of course.
So, it was sort of like literally a job. It was a thing that while I was locked in my house, I had a job, and this is what it was. And then when I could see that we were going to get reopened, I went and just bought, which is a sort of insane thing to do. I bought this giant bread oven.
Oh wow, okay.
Which I'll show you if you want.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Let's go see it real quick. But I want you to eat your food.
I would love to. You know what? I'll eat my food first. Can I come back and can you show me the bread oven?
Well, I'm going to be gone.
You're going to be gone.
Let me just show you.
Show me quick then. That's okay. service here.
Some more Japanese influence.
Beautiful. Do you have your artwork available online so people can see?
I'm not even sure.
All right, search.
Ron Silver Studio, I think it's called.
Cool. Search Ron Silver Studios, everyone.
Yeah.
Ooh, wonderful. Oh, wow. Oh, here it is, the bread oven. Oh, wow. Huge. You can, I imagine you can make a lot of breads at the same time. Yeah.
Next.
Wow, that's amazing. That's very cool. Thank you for taking me inside. A nice brief look into the behind the scenes of where the pancakes are made. For food. Wonderful. Ron?
Pleasure.
Hey, I'll have a Americano with the meal.
We only have
We
coffee.
just have filter.
I'll have a cold brew, please.
Cold brew?
Thank you. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go back out and eat.
All right.
All right, let me grab my mic. I assume you gotta grab your jacket as well.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ron. Have a great
All right.
day.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, definitely will.
Thanks a lot.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
Talk to you later.
All right, perfect.
How's your breakfast? Awesome. Oh, cool. Make those bagels. I know. Sourdough, you know the sourdough, like 130.
All right, everyone. So here we have the brunch. Look at this. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Enjoy. Let us know if you need anything else.
Thank you. All right, so here it is. We got sourdough pancakes. So excited. This is the fried chicken. So excited for this as well. Sour cherry pie. And these are the James Beard pancakes with blueberry. So here's the beautiful spread. Look at that. All right, everyone. I'm so excited for this. Now it's time to eat. Let me get set up. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Ron. I hope you like the quick peek into the interior of the restaurant. So let me move over here. Bear with me as I get set up. And yes, this is Bobby. Is it sponsored? No, not sponsored. I sometimes cover food places voluntarily, like if it was a journalist covering a food place. If it's sponsored, I'll mention it in the beginning of the video. All right, let's do this. Good morning, Lori. All right, first of all, I think let's try these pancakes first. I think they need to be tried. Very warm. It's actually still pretty damn warm because of the gigantic heater right above my head, which makes it feel very nice. And yeah, I have my two mics with me, which makes it very nice. But look at this. This is the James Beard pancake. Now, it's called James Beard pancake after probably was now known as America's first foodie, James Beard. who had a food show all the way back in the late 1940s and was one of the very first people who emphasized fresh food and being made local all the way back in the 40s, all the way through about the 70s, 80s when he passed away. I think mid-80s he passed away. So this is named in his honor. Also, James Beard is also the highest honor for food in the U.S. That would be a nice meal for me. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah. And how do you know where to start? I don't know where to start, but I'm starting. I know the pie would be saved for last. That's the only thing I know. All right, let's try this out. Ooh. It's these type of videos I need a co-host in order to eat with me. The damn pandemic makes it hard to do. All right. Look at this. James Beard Foundation, yeah it is. Okay, so as I'm munching down, feel free to ask me any questions you would like whatsoever. Happy to answer any questions. We're just gonna have a chat and eat as we eat this, and we're gonna take our sweet time. Let's try it out. Susu, thank you so much for sending 800 stars. I appreciate you, Susu. This tastes like fluffy clouds. Oh wow. I just love the blueberry as well. So good. The pancake is super crazy fluffy. Absolutely amazing. Give it another taste. So it tastes creamy and milkier. So it tastes like very creamy and milky. So even more so than the other ones we had the other time at Clinton. And there's a little bit more like creaminess to it. And I think it's because they use sour cream in these pancakes, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I think these are sour cream with buttermilk. I think sour cream is the kicker because it makes it very, very creamy. And is a baby crying? Yes, it is. Yeah. Once the kid got pancakes, he stopped crying. Yep, and that's indeed. That's the key to prevent a kid from crying. And you might want a nap after these pancakes. I think I might need a power walk after these pancakes. But luckily, I have some coffee to subside. So these are amazing pancakes. Absolutely love the creaminess. Absolutely love the blueberries. Do they use fresh blueberries? So that I don't know 100% sure. The trick is with a lot of these pancake places, though I don't know 100% sure for Bubbies, is that they do use frozen blueberries. The reason they end up freezing them is so they can get that kind of nice, more creamier consistency to them, which you usually can't get if you just throw them fresh with some kind of sugar. No, can't quite get the same type of consistency. So I think that's why they freeze them and then they end up making them into a jam. Am I at Bubbies? Indeed I am. Do not bite blueberries, said Alexandra. Alexandra, that is more with inhaling the blueberry. That happened once with my previous show. And Billy says, interesting. Jack says, interesting. Yeah, interesting indeed. And mind the bones in that. Yeah, these don't have any like tiny little seeds. That's why I like blueberries. I think you will need sleep if you eat all that food. Maybe I will, but I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry. Now next up, let's try their sourdough pancakes. So they have two different types of pancakes. They have sourdough right here. It's more of a flatter pancake. Some people around the world might know as a flapjack, but it's made with sourdough starter. sourdough is a really interesting type of kind of ingredient that they use to make bread. I am absolutely a huge fan of sourdough bread. During the pandemic, it became like gigantically popular here in America. But Bubbies, they've been doing it for much longer before the pandemic. And the other pancake that I just had is their James Beard pancake. So let's try some sourdough. Now, the interesting thing is their sourdough is usually accompanied with fried chicken. So you can get fried chicken and pancakes. So we're gonna eat first the sourdough alone, and then we're gonna accompany it with fried chicken. So look at this. Look how soft and chewy it is. Look at that. Wow. It's really good. Wow. Okay. So these are very different from the fluffy pancakes. And love making sourdough. I start another culture. Yeah, do let us know how a sourdough culture is. What is it? Let us know. As far as I know, it's like a fungus, or a bacterial growth. It's either one of those two. I think it's a fungus, and it grows. And they've been using the same sourdough since 1890. This sourdough, this pancake, is made with ingredients. A starter that comes back to New York's Gilded Age. Again, unfortunately, we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Maybe we'll be soothed by my soothing sounds of me enjoying these pancakes. Now, this tastes very different. This taste is a bit more kind of, has a little bit more pushback. It's like a pancake al dente. There's a little bit more pushback. And there's a little bit more of like a savory flavor to it. It's not so super creamy and sweeter like the James Beard one, the fluffy one. This one is a bit more kind of savory to it, a little bit more hearty. It feels like this is the type of pancake that your grandmother would make. Yeah, it just has a much more old school flavor to it. Okay, we're gonna try it with fried chicken. So, hearty portions. I respect to the chef. Yeah, they were so kind enough to invite me here. Ariel, give the baby a little bit of her pancake. Yes, you activate the yeast and keep feeding it. It will last forever. Yes, thank you so much. So, Richie said, yes, you activate the yeast, and then you keep feeding it, and it will last forever. Yes, it can. There we go. It's yeast. You can order a pie and have it shipped to 1250 states. Yes, you can. April. Yes, you can. And you are the best. Indeed. Oh, I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. Now, as I chatted with Chef Ron, I said that fried chicken and waffles is like a classic New York thing. It was invented here in Harlem. And some people might dispute that, but at the very least, it was immensely popularized here in Harlem. Fried chicken, and waffles. Which is an odd combination. But in my perspective, it's the perfect marriage of two great cultures of New York. You have the old remnants of Dutch New Amsterdam that brought in stuff like waffles and the early versions of the donut. And then you have African American culture with that soul food, with the fried chicken, with the collard greens, all those amazing goodies. And Chef Ron mentioned a few other things that are very key to the classic American brunch that has African American roots. This is the perfect marriage, in my opinion, of like classic New York. You got Dutch and you got African American coming together in this great city of ours. And I said that this was an homage. He said, no, this is a thing. And let's try the thing, which is fried chicken and pancakes, rather than the waffle. Still a perfect marriage of two cultures clashing together. Look at that. Do your viewers know that Bubby is a Jewish grandma? I actually did not know that. So Heather, do let us know. So Bubby is the term for a Jewish grandmother. Thank you. Fried chicken on that waffle. Over. That tastes really good. That's a really interesting combination. This sourdough pancake is so strong that it even overpowers the fried chicken itself. I'm kind of shocked by how flavorful this sourdough pancake is. This sourdough pancake, you don't need anything on top of it at all. You can just have this plain. That's a great pancake. Let's try the fried chicken on its own. Or that fried chicken. Anita says, I'm crying like the baby over here because I wasn't food. I feel your pain, Anita, when I see myself food vlogs. I don't watch walking shows too much. I appreciate my colleagues, but I don't really watch walking shows. But I do watch food vlogs, especially when I'm researching places like these. And I feel your pain. But damn, this chicken is good. Whoa. Okay, so the chicken, I bit into it and I had to like move forward. I had to like leap for safety. For safety. I had to leap forward above my plate. You know why? You know why? Because the moment I bit into this chicken, a rush of juices flowed out. And I mean that in the most positive way possible. It's the best juices you can ask for. And I had to rush forward just in case. I didn't want to spill it on my jacket. It would be such a shame to let those juices go to waste. So this is a very, very juicy fried chicken, but I like how it's very fried on the outside. Paul says grease, not your juice. You can call it what you want. It was liquidy and it was wonderful all over my mouth. Send that pollo here ASAP. You can hear that crunch. Yeah, you can hear that crunch. The actual skin of the chicken is actually marvelous. It's marvelous. It's on the crunchier end. So you usually don't get chicken that's this crunchy in New York City. You know, New York City you get fried chicken, but the fried chicken it's a bit more like I love it, but it's a bit more kind of, it's not so crunchy. It's a bit more like softer. The skin has a crunch, but it's like slight. Think of Kentucky Fried Chicken, except a little bit better. That's what you'll encounter all around New York City. But here, this is one of those type of fried chickens where they go extra crispy on the outside. Pardon to all the vegans out there. Is fried chicken usually part of Jewish cuisine? I don't think so. So Bubbies is not a Jewish establishment. It might have a name that might be associated with Jewish grandmothers, but Bubbies is American brunch place. American brunch place. Uh-oh, the skin came out. I gotta hail the ambulance because I'm gonna be so full that I'm gonna need a gurney after this. So, ambulance, come over here. Thank you. We're getting the gurney out. Cool. Perfect. Kentucky Fried Chicken is finger licking good. Yeah, it is. Keeping track of all these stops at restaurants for the future. Yes, Tenny, I'm so happy I can. attempt to go to all of them because I cover a whole lot of restaurants, like many food vlog channels might do as well. But the cool thing is, the reason I just cover a bunch of places in different areas and sometimes try new places is because I would love some of you to be able to explore New York City on your own, either whether you're a New Yorker or a visitor, and just see on your walk while you're maybe wandering around these beautiful streets of Tribeca and say, oh my god, Bubbies, this was on Urbanist. Let's check it out. This is the place where Ariel had a bunch of fried chicken juices about to drip from his mouth. If you all remember it that way. And then you can come to Bubbies and enjoy it deeply. So that's the beauty. That's why I love covering food. I hope you guys enjoy it. ¿Qué tal este café? Nomades, esto es un sitio de desayuno, de brunch. Brunch es como entre desayuno y almuerzo. Debe haber una palabra en español para brunch, me dices. Y es clásico americano. Bien bueno, clásico americano. A mí me encanta. Classic American brunch food over here. I'm putting Bubbies on my list. Oh yeah, definitely do put Bubbies on your list. This is a pancake. Wow. Oh my god. Fried chicken and these sourdough pancakes, great combination. Definitely have this. This sourdough pancake is the most interesting pancake I've ever had. Come here and grab them. It's so unique. So unique. I can't really think of a comparison to it. I've had fluffy pancakes like these before. Bubbies is definitely responsible for, I think, inspiring other places like Clinton Street Baking Company. And there's other places where you can get very fluffy pancakes like these. This is a classic, but these sourdough pancakes, at least here in New York City, haven't had anything like it before. It's really damn unique. Someone earlier asked, what's the price for all of this? I don't know. I collaborated with the restaurant. This is not sponsored by the restaurant, but I did collaborate with them, meaning that I reached out to them beforehand and they invited me over. So I didn't pay for this. So thank you, Bubbies, for providing the food. Each of these plates, we are in Tribeca, so remember, you're gonna pay Tribeca prices for this. You're basically in one of the richest neighborhoods in New York City. You are in the richest neighborhood in New York City, because I think the medium income actually here is getting higher than even the Upper East Side. So this is a very expensive neighborhood. I think the pancakes are right now priced around $20 to $25. So yeah. Be prepared to spend. But you're close to all the touristy destinations, beautiful outdoor seating. So I think you pay well for the ambiance and also for the closeness to a lot of tourist destinations. We're just a stone's throw away from the Oculus, and basically downtown Manhattan is a 15-minute walk away. Also, you can go to Soho, the other side. Okay, everyone, feel free to ask me questions. Let me know, what's your favorite type of American breakfast item? What's your favorite American breakfast item? I'm gonna have a little bit more. I'm gonna finish off one pancake of these, and then I'm gonna have a piece of pie. Actually, let me have the piece of pie right now, so we can just chill out and eat. Let me know if you want me to bite into a piece of this pie, and then we can just chill out and chat and eat all together. Hopefully you have some food, hopefully. So they have some cold brew. They only have drip coffee and cold brew, which is okay. Cold brew is very nice, very nice. Kind of, your run-of-the-mill cold brews. It's kind of normal. 4K Wonder is calling me foodiness, exploring blueberries. Thank you so much for the super chat. 222. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. $2.22. All right, let's try this pie. Now, I'm a gigantic fan of pie. Huge, massive fan of pie. As a little kid, I suffered for years because year after year, I was given those cakes. They're like those white vanilla cakes with that type of like jelly in the middle. No offense to anyone who likes those cakes. Good for you. But I didn't. And somehow, it did not get through anyone's mind, any friends or family, that all I really wanted for any celebration was a good pie. That's all I wanted. All I ever wanted. But now that I'm an adult, I can have all the pie I want. And I'm relishing that freedom, that ability, that gift, that pie. I love pie way more than any other type of cake. Give me pie, and I'm in heaven. This is a sour cherry pie with a lattice topping. And look how big these cherries are. Look how huge these cherries are. Look at that. Wow. They did not disappoint in the cherry. It's very sour. It's very cherry. The crust is actually really good, but the cherry is so expressive. The cherry speaks so loudly. Very, very super sour cherry. Here's some homemade whipped cream. That's great. It's great homemade whipped cream. Wow. The cherries, so great, and they're not like super slathered in at least what appears to me just a bunch of white sugar. Otherwise you would see a little bit kind of more of a gelatinous look to it. That's not the case. It's lightly sugared, I think. So you can really taste those cherries. Wow. This cherry is just filled with amazing flavor. Super sour. It almost tastes like if you're having one of those cocktails with the cherries in it. Let me know. Remind me which one they are. It's dusted. Yeah, it's dusted with some powdered sugar. But the thing is, Ron, Chef Silver was making a very great point because the fruit pies that you usually buy that are frozen, they don't taste good. And usually the cherry itself is very kind of filled with sugar. It has like a more slimier taste to it, which I don't like. That's why I like a homemade pie. Now the crust, let's try the crust. So the crust is slightly kind of more crispier. So it seems like they love their crispiness here, which is great. I'm more than okay with crispiness. You can see that it is individually layered, but there is a nice toastedness on the outside of the crust. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great pie. Great pie. The crust, the fact that it's lightly toasted or significantly toasted, adds a great punch to it. I want to
give you a classic Swedish apple pie, says Alexander. Oh, Alexander, cool. I would love to try one. Maybe when I visit Sweden. Good crust. My grandmother would have her perfect. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Alexander, I'm in Cloud 9. I am. I just love brunch food. So if you're in New York City, or basically if you're anywhere in the U.S., do consider having a great brunch. Might not be a concept that's very popular in some other areas of the world. And it's definitely not the same in European countries. You might see sometimes pancakes, but you won't see exactly the same type of things. Do consider coming to a brunch place like Bubbies. There's a bunch of others that I recommended because it's a really unique experience. So famous, that's why Bubbies is in Japan. It's because halfway around the world, people kind of look at brunch as kind of a kitschy thing, as like a very unique American concept. Let me know what's brunch in your area of the world. Adam, thank you so much for tuning in. Hard egg pie on the other day. Ooh, Ronald, egg pie, interesting, never heard of that. Is that a Filipino specialty? Wendy, I love baking. Oh, so glad. Do you consider yourself a food connoisseur? Asked Forky Wonder. I love food. I'm a foodie. I consider myself a foodie. Connoisseur, maybe not. I just love food. I love talking about food. Connoisseur is a loaded word, especially when it comes to food. Bubbies was a success. Was a success when they first opened up. Yep, right the very first day they opened up, it was a massive success. Avocado toast with egg on top, says Lisa. Yeah, they do have avocado toast. I was actually tempted to try it out, but here's all about the pancakes. I'm not entirely sure about the avocado toast. Haven't tried it yet. I would assume it's good, judging by the sourdough pancakes and how great quality the baking is. So try the avocado toast. Yeah, I would recommend it, especially now that they make their own sourdough bread. I think you'll probably have a good time. But the reason I'm not trying it is because this place is known for the pancakes, and on the side, their fried chicken. And Jennifer says, I don't know how anyone can watch and not eat too. The show. It's cooking shows, you know. People all around the world watch cooking shows. People all around the world watch Anthony Bourdain. It puzzles a lot of people as well. It puzzles myself. I wouldn't normally do this much food on Urbanist. I love food. I love talking about it, but I normally wouldn't do that much because I thought it would be boring. I thought a lot of people wouldn't like it. Georgie, I'm not Chef Ron. My name is Ariel. I'm the host of the Urbanist of the show. I run the show. Chef Ron was featured in the first 10 minutes or so. I had to make pancakes for lunch, says Amanda. Oh, I'm glad. Amanda. Yeah. Cheers to making pancakes for lunch. Food is travel. Yeah, food is travel. I'm eating a half-eaten biscuit I found on my desk, says Anita. Anita, here's a full one if you want one. Here it is. Full biscuit from Bubbies. I'm not eating it because I'm pretty full. They also had coleslaw with this fried chicken, but I'm gonna take this to go. Chrissy, you enjoy when I cover food? Oh, amazing. I love grits, says Shirley. I gotta try some good grits. Do you have any recommendations? Does anyone have any recommendations on great grits in New York City? Because I haven't tried good grits yet. Maybe it's just I haven't tried good ones. I like waffles and pancakes. The more the merrier, says 4K Wonder. Yeah, the old stereotype here in America is that they would stack pancakes sky high at the breakfast table. Good morning, Anita. Nice to see you here. Clarissa says, I love when you cover food. I love to see what's cooked in America. I call that a scone too. This right here is not called a scone. It's a little bit more kind of buttery, I would say. It's a bit more buttery than a normal, than an English scone. This here in America, we call it a biscuit. Oh, so a biscuit in the UK is known as a cookie. So yeah, it gets a bit confusing. But this is known as an American biscuit. More buttery than an English scone. English scones are not so buttery. Jacob's Pickles on the Upper West Side for grits. Oh, cool. I like Jacob's Pickles. I actually covered them. Is that cornbread biscuit? No, it seems like normal biscuit. And they give you extra butter if you need it. Like, if you want more butter on your biscuit, right here. And some jam as well. Right here. It was made in a cupcake pan. If it's not a scone. So scones in America tend to be triangular, as opposed to the rounder scones that you might see in the UK. So that's the difference. Raimundo, I understand a little bit of what you speak. Oh, I'm so glad you do. I used to eat at IHOP and their quality of food has changed. Yeah, IHOP is super focused on the sugary. They add a whole lot of sugar on their pancakes. I'm not sure if they do their pancakes frozen. I hope they don't, but it does taste that way. So I never go to IHOP. I used to enjoy it as a little kid, but not so much anymore. So for people who are unaware, IHOP is a chain of restaurants. And it's an acronym for the International House of Pancakes. And it's basically the way most Americans who grew up 1990s or later get exposed to pancakes, at least in the restaurant context. I'm generalizing, of course. There's a bunch of restaurants in many cities all around the world, but that was my exposure. That was the experience of a lot of my friends. IHOP was the place to grab what was American breakfast or American brunch at that time. Chirag, have I tried shrimp and grits? No, I haven't tried shrimp and grits. From a woman at Harlem who was featured in Vice Munchies as a street food icon, the seafood queen of Harlem. Chirag, thank you so much for mentioning that. I have not tried the seafood queen of Harlem, though I will look into it. Alexandra, if you don't mind, show me the food. Yes, I'll show you the food one more time. Am I getting full? I am. I'm gonna take the rest to go. But it's really, really good. I'm gonna finish this plate over here. I'm gonna take this to go, take this to go, take this to go. Claire, what are grits? Ooh, I don't know if anyone can explain them. Kay says I now have to make some scones. Yeah, indeed. So this is the slaw, which looks very interesting. I can't wait to try it out later. Another piece of fried chicken. It's quite a feast for like 2 or 3 people, at least. Grits is boiled cornmeal. Oh, thank you so much for it, Wanderer. I appreciate it. Grits are porridge made from cornmeal, yeah. It is indeed a feast. Claire, have I mentioned this before? Yeah, I passed by Bubbies like twice already in my walking videos along Tribeca, and I mentioned them as a recommendation. This is now my second time coming here, and I have no regrets. No regrets. Why don't? Okay. Virginia says, "Wow, you don't normally get to go brunch. To go at brunch places I have been to." Virginia, yeah, let me know what brunch places are you referring to. You can probably take it all since it's so cold. Indeed, yeah, indeed. It'll stay nice. Taking it to go. Make grits with milk and lots of butter and fried egg. Oh yeah, polenta is also very good. Paul says I'm a little bit pink. I'm a little bit pink because I have a gigantic heater pointing directly at my face, and also there's a lot of milky ingredients in here, so I'm a little bit lactose intolerant, so I get a little bit stuffy. So I'm speaking a little bit nasally right now because of all the intense amount of dairy that I'm having, and also the heater. That's what. The food is not like spicy or anything. Anyone like rice pudding? It's the bomb, says Wendy. Yeah, Wendy. Rice pudding is amazing. And oh my god, I'm going to try that. Thank you, says Claire. I'm glad, Claire. San Pellegrino. San Pellegrino would be very necessary at this point. Plain says, am I okay? Yes, I am okay. And yes, I don't like being baked by these heaters. You know what? I appreciate the heaters, but I wish heaters were put below the table. I'm not sure if that's safe in terms of fire code, but if it were, that seems like the ideal situation where it's warming up your legs and kind of provides you at least with some feeling of warmth below. Brian says a free tan while you eat. Indeed, it's a free tan. Qué rico que comes, ya estoy en Argentina, says Juanes. Ah, qué bien que está en Argentina. Y este desayuno, hago teatro de transformario. Saludos. Adoro los hotcakes. Oh, qué bien, Janos. Apuesto que hay buen desayuno en Argentina. Dígame qué se hace en Argentina para desayuno. Let me know what you make in Argentina for breakfast. And Linda says, I love your walks and musings. Oh, so glad you do, Linda. Do I like Big Macs? Great question. Zols, great question. No, I rarely ever eat at fast food restaurants. I might eat at casual eateries or like local regional chains like those Toros or Sweet Green, but I wouldn't consider that entirely fast food in the context of mass farming, frozen ingredients, processed food that you find at McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Subway, even Starbucks. Yeah, I normally wouldn't eat at those places. So, do I enjoy Big Mac? I have indeed in the past, but when I was younger and did eat fast food, I really enjoyed more a Whopper. I was more of a Whopper person than a Big Mac person. Whoppers from Burger King. Heated seats would be a great idea, says Lisa. Oh yes, I wish there were heated seats rather than a gigantic heater pointing at your face. Where's the smell-o-vision when you need it, says Carrie. I wish there was smell-o-vision. I would totally enable it if I could. This fried chicken is delicious. Best fried chicken, one of the best fried chicken I had in New York City. I'll put this in top 5 fried chicken. Really great. Manolito, do I like soul food? Yes, I do, Manolito. I'm a huge fan of soul food. I loved like the mac and cheese and the fried chicken. There is also the shrimps as well. I haven't really tried shrimp and grits, but I've tried the shrimp on their own. There's also collard greens. Collard greens, when done well, are amazing. Yeah, I love soul food. Lots of great soul food. And also cornbread. Ooh, cornbread. When you make a great cornbread, it's amazing. Do I cook, Jum? Yes, I do. I do cook quite a lot. I might cover a lot of food on the show, but actually, most of the time I cook at home. Breakfast, lunch. Since I'm now doing videos a lot outdoors, I usually eat lunch either on the show or outside. And dinner I cook at home. Fried okra as well. What's your favorite dinner meal? Says Clarissa. To buy outside, my favorite dinner by far is burritos. I rarely cover burritos on the show because they're like, it's so hard to like do a show about burritos because it's like covered, it's hard to talk about, and there's not that many places, like it's usually in these touristy areas, to just stop by for a burrito. That's why I usually order out or eat out casually. But making dinner at home, I'm a huge fan of making pasta carbonara recently. Absolutely obsessed with making pasta carbonara. But it's something I might eat like once every 2 weeks. I buy like ingredients from Italy and everything, but otherwise my normal kind of thing I would eat is usually salmon, grilled salmon with roasted sweet potatoes, some plantains, and sometimes a little bit of rice. Lee says, "You're red, are you okay?" No, I have a gigantic heater above my head. I'm okay. A gigantic heater and had a little bit of milk. I'll be okay. Are you making pasta carbonara with cream? Says Alexandra. Oh, Alexandra, do not insult me like that. I do not put cream in my pasta carbonara. It's all just egg and pecorino and maybe some parmigiano. And of course the guanciale / bacon. That's the pasta carbonara. That's it. And black pepper. That's it. All right, I'm gonna finish up this coffee. I'll stick around for about like 5 minutes or so. Feel free to ask me any last remaining questions. Do you like sweet or savory platanos? I usually eat sweet plantains, maduros. Highly recommend if you ever go to Puerto Rico or you have Hispanic food here, maybe Colombian, Puerto Rican, Dominican, try maduros, which are sweet plantains. Tostones are also really good. They're savory plantains. You should post a pic next time you make it. Yeah, maybe I will. Pasta carbonara is like not the most photographable thing. I gotta get a nice plate in order to make it photographable. How do you like your plantains prepared? Sliced up and fried. Yeah, that's how I do it. Dutch cam jam. Yeah, great question. Can you order a burrito on behalf of all of us? Sri Khan. All right, let me know. Would you guys like me to feature a burrito place soon? Let me know. Maybe I'll try to find a place where I can show you it being made. Or if not, I'll just drop in for one of the future walks. Let me know if you want to see a burrito place in New York City. Can you teach us one Spanish word per show? Says Shirley. I could teach you some Puerto Rican slang when it comes to regards to this type of food. So here we have a pancake. In Puerto Rican slang, and I'm not sure if other countries use this slang, it's called panqueque. 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 That's Puerto Rican slang for pancakes. Panqueques. Did you hear any news about the bomb scare yesterday? No news at it. It might have been a false alarm, luckily. Christine says, yes, PR Spanish. Yeah, let me know if there's any other Latin American countries where they say panqueque, which I don't think they do. If anyone can write panqueque, please.
Yeah, Wavos myself this morning.
Just wondering if you're a fan of the New York sports teams. No, I barely watch sports. Panqueques con salsa de frutos rojos. I love that. Do not say that to a Filipino, says Ronaldo. Ooh. Does that mean something very different? There's a few words in Puerto Rican Spanish that are very different meanings in South American Spanish. Well, we won't get into that. Maybe once we visit Puerto Rico. Canadian slang would be pancake. Which countries is your favorite cuisine? Shri asked. Shri, great question. If you're in New York, rather than say just my favorite, because this show is not really about me, it's about travel. My recommendation, when you come to New York, try classic American food like we are right now. Try Italian American food, which is your pizza joint, or go to a Pizza by the Pie restaurant. Maybe if you're lucky, you can find a great lasagna. Those are a little bit more kind of in neighborhoods rather than in touristy areas. A place like Carmine's in Times Square, actually, where you can get classic Italian American food. And then the third thing is get your classic Mexican American food. Try a burrito. Chipotle is good enough for an introduction, but I would encourage you, if you're in New York City, just go to Dos Toros for your first burrito. And that's a classic Mexican American food. And in my opinion, that's the best types of cuisine you can find here in New York. There's a lot of great other cuisines in New York. But when I'm not in New York, the type of cuisine I like outside of American style cuisine, is UK cuisine. I am in love with English food. I love my meat pies. I love my sausage rolls. It's just the best. It's the best. A lot of people disagree with me. Even people from the UK think I am insane for liking their food. But I tell you, I'm speaking to the entire United Kingdom right now. This is a public service announcement. Are you watching from the UK? If you're watching from the UK, pay attention. Your food is amazing. Your food is unique, and there's nothing quite like it in the world. You can't quite get a great meat pie like you can in the UK. That's the beauty of UK food. So that's the public service announcement for today. Same thing with American food, but with other things. You can't get a great fruit pie in most places of the world as good as an American fruit pie. We're definitely watching, and thank you, definitely like this public service announcement, says Claire. Oh, I'm glad you do. And you need to try Aussie meat pie. I have. There used to be an Aussie meat pie place here in New York City. It has since closed, unfortunately. I wish I could have featured them. It was really good. Their meat pies are great because they're like smaller bites. They're like good for a snack. And I'm really full. All right, I'm gonna need that gurney. Where's the gurney? Or I might need to walk like 10 miles. Let me know if I should do a walk potentially after this. I might do one just to burn this off. I live in London. I prefer US food than London food. That's why I did that public service announcement. I want to make you guys aware that it's amazing food. All right, so you're going to have 2 espresso shots. I already have a cold brew. Cold brew is equivalent to maybe around 4 espresso shots. Cold brew has a lot of kick to it. Irene says, I heard that UK food is boring. That's the thing. Everyone thinks it's boring. I absolutely fell in love with it. Afternoon tea, you had Cornish pasties. You had all these wonderful variety of foods. You had all the types of beers. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Mind-blowing. And a walk would be great. I have to say, your English sounds so British. says Anthony. Some people tell me that. I'm not sure why. I definitely don't have a British accent, but maybe it's because of my slight New Yorican accent that is so slight that people might confuse it with other places. And you keep eating like that, and you're going to need a gurney. More than a gurney, says Teresa. All right, everyone. I might be back. Stay tuned. Put on your notifications. If you're on YouTube, it's that little bell button. If you're on Facebook, it's a little bit more complicated, but press that follow button, and you'll see options there. Put your notifications, and then you'll see me go live potentially later today. Definitely tomorrow, 1 p.m. So thank you, everyone, so much for watching. I'm going to take the rest of this to go. I am absolutely full. Highly recommend Bubbies on the corner of Northmore and Chambers. Not Chambers. Northmore and Hudson Street. Here, Bubbies. Or if you happen to be in Japan, maybe try the Japanese one. It's also run by the same chef. He's very hands-on over there as well. So thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome. And always keep on eating. I mean, exploring. Always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Here's the heater. That was the heater, making me very red. And amazing food. Look at this. Take away the nasty napkin. Bye, everyone.